It was a quiet Thursday afternoon in the small town of Ashford, nestled somewhere between the rolling hills of the English countryside. Alex was in his modest workshop, the warm scent of freshly cut oak filling the air as he sanded a slab of wood, his hands steady and sure. The walls around him were lined with tools, sketches pinned here and there, and half-finished projects waiting to become something beautiful. His phone buzzed on the workbench. Cutting through the peaceful hum of his sander, he glanced at the screen. It was from Amelia. "Going on a last-minute trip with my ex, don't be jealous." Alex stared at the message, not with the fire of anger or the sting of betrayal, but with a quiet, unexpected calm. Amelia, the woman he'd loved and lived with for 3 years, had just dropped a bomb disguised as a text. Amelia's ex, Julian, was a rich, polished man from her university days, a fixture in her past she'd always kept at arm's length, like a dusty ornament on a shelf she occasionally dusted off to admire from a distance. Now, it seemed, she was dusting him off for a closer look. "Don't be jealous." The phrase echoed in Alex's mind like a twisted punchline. Amelia thought she had him trapped in a no-win game. Respond with anger and be the jealous boyfriend. Say nothing and become the doormat. It was a power move, a checkmate in a game Alex hadn't even realized they were playing. He wiped the sawdust from his hands, picked up his phone, and typed back coolly, "Not at all." Then, with a touch of dry humor, he added, "Have a great time." He set the phone down, switched on the sander again, and let the steady vibration soothe his thoughts. While the machine hummed, his mind was already plotting. If Amelia wanted to play with fire, Alex was ready to turn up the heat. By the time Friday morning dawned over Ashford, Alex's house looked like the aftermath of a high-stakes heist. Every designer dress, every pair of shoes, every purse Amelia owned was carefully packed into crisp, professional wardrobe boxes. The entire operation was meticulous, almost clinical. He folded silk dresses with the gentle care of a museum curator, wrapped leather handbags in tissue paper as if preserving priceless artifacts, and replaced every shoe in its original box, preserving their identity like precious trophies. The bedroom that had once been a shrine to their life together was stripped bare. The closet, once bursting with Amelia's carefully curated collection, was now an empty shell. Photos of the two of them, smiling, laughing, frozen moments of happier times, had been carefully taken down, labeled, and boxed away. Alex wasn't angry. He was precise. This was no tantrum, it was a declaration. His next step was simple: deliver the entire package to Julian. A few months back, Amelia had carelessly left a birthday card for Julian on the kitchen counter. It bore a sleek address in the city center, a penthouse suite on the 34th floor of a shiny new high-rise. A quick search confirmed it was his. Friday afternoon found Alex renting a moving van and driving into the heart of London. The doorman at Julian's building, dressed sharply and armed with a clipboard, tried to stop him. "Deliveries need to be scheduled, sir," the man said, eyebrows raised. Alex flashed his most sincere smile and slipped him a crisp 50-pound note. "I'm terribly sorry to inconvenience you," he said smoothly, "but my friend Julian's girlfriend, Amelia, is surprising him. He's out of town and she wanted to move in before he got back. A romantic gesture, you understand." The doorman sighed, took the money and waved him toward the service elevator. 34B. Try not to leave a mess. Alex spent the next hour hauling 28 boxes up to the penthouse, stacking them in a towering wall right in front of Julian's sleek front door. It looked like a fortress of cardboard, a monument to betrayal and bad timing. On the very top box, he taped an envelope. Inside was a typed note. "Julian, it seems Amelia has made her choice. I'm a big believer in not standing in the way of true love. She's all yours now. I've taken the liberty of forwarding her belongings to her new address. All the best, the ex you didn't have to worry about." Before leaving, Alex snapped a photo, the towering boxes, the polished hallway, the number 34B on the door. It was a work of art in its own right. Back home, the house felt different. Lighter, quieter. He cleaned, rearranged furniture the way he liked it, changed the sheets on their once shared bed. It was as if he was reclaiming his life, one small victory at a time. Later that day, Alex called his sister Claire, a nurse just starting her career in the city. She was living in a cramped, Noisy flat an hour away and struggling with the commute. Hey, he said, I've got a spare room. Rent-free for a year. Come live here, save your money. Get your feet under you. It's yours as much as it is mine. Claire laughed, thinking he was joking. When she realized he wasn't, she cried. By evening, she was moved in, filling the space Amelia had vacated with warmth and laughter. Amelia, blissfully unaware, was still away with Julian, thinking she held all the cards. But Alex's final message to her was waiting in her inbox, attached to the photo of her boxed-up life. Looks like your delivery arrived. Her phone remained silent, the silence of someone beginning to understand that the game had changed, and she was the one left without a seat. And as the sun set over Ashford, Alex's doorbell remained quiet. Too quiet for a woman who once called this place home. But that silence was about to be shattered. Sunday morning broke over Ashford with a pale, reluctant light filtering through the curtains of Alex's living room. The calm that had settled over the house was suddenly ripped apart by the shrill ring of his phone. He glanced at the screen. Amelia. He didn't answer. Instead, the voicemail beeped in. Her voice was frantic, barely above a whisper, shaking with a mix of fear and desperation. Alex, what did you do? Call me back. This isn't funny. Please. Alex let the message play through once, then deleted it without a second thought. The woman who had once filled his life with laughter and late-night talks was now a stranger, a ghost reaching out from a life she no longer belonged to. An hour later, another call came in. This time it was Julian. His voice was sharp, clipped, like a cold gust through the cracks of a poorly sealed window. Listen, mate, I don't know what game you're playing, but you need to come get this stuff. Now, Amelia's a mess, and frankly, she's your problem, not mine. Alex smirked, imagining the scene. Julian, the polished trust fund kid, suddenly faced with an unexpected mountain of boxes on his doorstep. Not my circus, not my monkeys, he thought, leaving the call unanswered. While Amelia's pleas continued to flood his voicemail inbox, shifting from anger to pathetic apologies. Alex was somewhere else entirely. He was helping Claire arrange her new room, ordering pizza, and watching old movies. The house echoed with laughter and warmth once more, a stark contrast to the chaos Amelia left behind. Late Sunday night, just as the clock crept past 11, the video doorbell lit up. There she was, Amelia, standing on the porch in a silk nightgown that shimmered under the porch light, her hair tousled like she'd just run a marathon of regrets. She fumbled with her keys, panic blooming across her face when none fit the new locks. Alex watched quietly from his phone. She knocked, then pounded on the door, her breath visible in the cold night air. After a few minutes, he spoke through the intercom, his voice calm and unyielding. Can I help you? Her head jerked up, eyes wild. Alex, please, let me in. What's going on? My key doesn't work. That it's not your house anymore. Amelia, he said softly, you don't live here. Her voice cracked, disbelief turning into desperation. What? My stuff. It's gone. You can't just kick me out. I didn't kick you out, he replied, the weight of years in his tone. I just helped you move your things to your new address. You made your choice. The porch light flickered as Claire, drawn by the noise, opened the door a crack. She was in soft pajamas, rubbing sleep from her eyes, her presence a quiet anchor in the storm. Is everything okay out here? She asked gently. Amelia stared, her eyes flicking from Claire's kind face to Alex's calm voice over the speaker. Claire didn't recognize her, but to Amelia, Claire was a living reminder that her place in Alex's life had been replaced. Not by another lover, but by family. Claire gave Amelia a small, confused wave before closing the door softly. Amelia sank onto the steps, the fight draining out of her. Tears traced silent paths down her cheeks as she crumpled into herself, the weight of loss settling like a stone in her chest. Alex watched for a long moment, feeling nothing but the strange, heavy relief of closure. She left eventually, disappearing into the night like a shadow losing its substance. The next morning, an email arrived, long, rambling, a mix of apologies, accusations, and desperate pleas. Amelia claimed she had nowhere to go, that friends had turned their backs, and that she was staying in a grim little motel. She begged for a chance to come back, promising she would change. Alex's reply was simple, merciless in its clarity. Your choices are not my responsibility anymore. He created a filter to send all future emails to the trash and blocked her number, erasing her from his life as thoroughly as he had erased her belongings. Now, with Claire thriving in her new job and the house finally feeling like home, Alex spent his days in the workshop crafting pieces that were solid, enduring, and honest. Everything their relationship had not been. Amelia had tested the limits, pushed the boundaries, and flown 1,000 miles to be with her ex, only to find herself unwanted. She returned 1,000 miles to find her place taken by someone who truly belonged. She was free, all right, free to wander without roots, without a home. But as Alex closed the workshop door one evening, the soft ping of a new email broke the silence. No sender name, no subject, just a single line. Some mistakes don't stay buried. The screen flickered, and the mystery began anew. The evening air in Ashford was crisp, carrying the faint scent of wood smoke from nearby chimneys as Alex sat at his kitchen table, the glow of his laptop casting sharp shadows on his face. The email's cryptic message haunted the screen. Some mistakes don't stay buried.
No sender. No signature.
Just those 5 chilling words. Alex leaned back, the chair creaking beneath him. He wasn't the superstitious type, but the timing felt like a cold breeze whispering through a cracked window. Had Amelia really vanished so completely? Or was this the first ripple of something darker, something he hadn't seen coming? His mind flashed back to the night she stood on his porch, her silk nightgown clinging to curves that once made his heart race, now a bittersweet reminder of what had been lost. The way the porch light caught the delicate gold necklace she always wore, the one with the tiny locket he'd given her on their first anniversary. The same necklace that now seemed like a noose, tightening around memories best left buried. The workshop called to him, the scent of pine and oak promising refuge from the storm of thoughts. He stood, stretching his arms, and slipped into his worn leather boots, the ones scuffed from years of honest work. As he stepped outside, the sky was a canvas of ink and stars, silent witnesses to the unraveling of his life. He wandered toward the back shed where he kept his tools, the moonlight tracing silver lines along the grain of unfinished furniture. His fingers brushed over a half-carved chair, solid and sturdy, a stark contrast to the fragile mess of his emotions. Suddenly, his phone buzzed again, this time with a text from an unknown number. Meet me at the Raven pub, midnight. Alone. Alex's brow furrowed. The Raven was a dimly lit tavern on the edge of town, known more for its secrets than its ale. He'd been there once, years ago, with Amelia on a rare night out. It wasn't exactly a place for a quiet chat, more a crossroads for whispered deals and shadowy figures. He hesitated. Curiosity gnawed at him, but so did caution. Was this some cruel joke? A trap? Or the next move in a game that had only just begun? With a wry smile, half amusement, half resignation, he pocketed the phone and headed back inside. If Amelia's ghost was stirring, if past mistakes were clawing their way back to the surface, then Alex was ready. After all, every good carpenter knows how to handle a little unexpected splinter, and sometimes, the hardest knots are the ones that hide the deepest secrets. The clock on the wall ticked toward midnight. Outside, the night waited. The Raven pub was a dark, weathered building on the outskirts of Ashford, its wooden sign creaking softly in the night breeze. The windows glowed faintly, revealing flickers of candlelight and the silhouettes of patrons nursing pints in smoky corners. Alex pushed open the heavy door, stepping into the thick, warm air saturated with the scent of roasted meat, spilled ale, and something else. An undercurrent of secrets. He scanned the room, his eyes adjusting to the dim light. The chatter hushed momentarily as heads turned, curious about the late arrival. Alex's rugged figure, clad in a fitted navy jacket over a simple gray shirt, jeans worn but clean, and those scuffed leather boots, drew a few nods of recognition but no questions. He was a local, after all. A solitary figure sat at the far end, a flickering candle casting shadows across a slender frame draped in a deep burgundy coat. The woman's auburn hair spilled over her shoulders in loose waves, catching the light just so, and her emerald eyes pinned Alex with an unsettling intensity. She wore a vintage lace blouse with delicate patterns peeking beneath the coat's collar, and a silver pendant that glinted like a secret. "Alex," she said, voice low and smooth, carrying a hint of amusement that he hesitated only a moment before approaching. "You're a long way from anywhere," he said, sliding into the seat opposite her. She smiled. A slow, enigmatic curve that didn't quite reach her eyes. "You could say that. I'm here to make sure you understand what you're dealing with." Amelia's story. "It's far from over." Alex's jaw tightened. "I thought it was finished. I packed her bags, sent them off, changed the locks. What more is there?" The woman leaned forward, fingers tracing the rim of her glass. "You think you've seen the whole picture? But Amelia's past isn't just a messy breakup or a reckless romance. There are things, people she's been running from. And now, by pushing her away, you might have stirred something dangerous." Alex's mind raced. "Dangerous how? What are you talking about?" She reached into her coat pocket and slid an envelope across the table. Alex picked it up, feeling the weight of its contents. Inside were photographs. Blurred faces, shadowy meetings, a glimpse of Julian looking far less charming, far more sinister. She wasn't just Julian's plaything, the woman said quietly. She was caught up in something bigger. And now it's coming for her. For you. Alex swallowed hard. The calm certainty he'd built over the past days began to crack. The neat lines of his life, the solid wood of his workshop, suddenly felt fragile, like a chair balanced on a single splintered leg. "Why come to me?" he asked, voice barely above a whisper. "Because," she said, standing and pulling her coat tighter, "you're the only one who can stop this before it's too late. But be careful, Alex. Some mistakes don't just haunt the past. They hunt the present." Before he could respond, she slipped into the shadows, disappearing into the crowded pub like a ghost. Alex sat back, the envelope heavy in his hands, the candle flickering as a chill crept through the room. Outside, the wind howled, carrying with it a promise and a warning that the quiet life he'd fought for was about to be shattered, and this time, the sawdust wouldn't be enough to cover the blood. The following morning, sunlight filtered weakly through the curtains of Alex's kitchen, casting pale stripes across the worn oak table where the envelope lay unopened. The photographs inside still pressed coldly against his palm, their shadows lingering like ghosts. The quiet of the house, once a balm, now felt heavy, like the calm before a storm. Alex dressed quickly, choosing a sharp navy shirt that clung just right to his broad shoulders, paired with dark jeans and polished boots. He grabbed his leather jacket, a little scuffed but reliable, and slipped the envelope into his jacket pocket. Today, he decided, he would find out exactly what Amelia had been running from. Ashford's narrow streets were already stirring with life as he made his way toward the town's small cafe, a favorite haunt where whispers traveled faster than the morning fog. He ordered a black coffee, strong and bitter, and settled into a corner booth. Minutes later, Claire arrived, her scrubs hanging from her frame like a second skin, her auburn hair pulled back in a practical ponytail. She slid into the seat opposite him, her eyes sharp and concerned. "Something's up," she said, folding her hands on the table. "You've been distant since Amelia left. I can see it in you." Alex hesitated, then pulled the envelope from his jacket, sliding the photos across to her. "Look at this. There's more to Amelia's past than I knew. Julian's not just some rich ex-boyfriend. There's something darker here." Claire studied the pictures, the blurred faces, the shadowy meetings. "This looks serious. Dangerous." Alex nodded. "And now someone's warning me, told me to be careful. But I don't even know who to trust." Claire reached across, squeezing his hand. "You're not alone in this. Whatever's coming, we face it together." A sudden chill swept through the cafe as the door opened, and a tall man stepped inside, his trench coat pulled tight against the morning breeze. His eyes scanned the room before settling on Alex. There was something unsettling about him, a coldness that didn't belong in Ashford's cozy charm. Without a word, the man approached their table, slipping a folded note onto the surface before retreating back toward the door. Alex unfolded it carefully. The message was brief, typed in sharp, precise letters. Stop digging or you'll lose more than memories. The cafe seemed to close in around them. Claire's grip tightened, and Alex felt the weight of the unknown pressing down like the thick London fog. The past wasn't done with them yet. Not by a long shot. And somewhere in the shadows, a game far older and more dangerous than heartbreak was unfolding. One that could destroy everything Alex thought he'd saved. The sawdust in his workshop suddenly felt like a fragile shield against a storm he was only beginning to see.